What a day. I was recording the Priori podcast last night with a very good friend of mine, Calum Phillips, and I'll set the pretense. The other night we were sat in a very nice pub. Well, in a pub in our hometown, just having a beer, watching the Olympics, and we decided that it would be funnier if the Olympic commentators, were drunk. So, of course, this led to us. Well, first of all, it led us to watching the women's rugby sevens. We both know quite a bit about rugby union. Rugby sevens, we were less sure. A lot of similarities, but so we were watching the rugby sevens, making it up as we go along, and we thought, well, this would be good. And I said, well, why don't we do it for the podcast this week? So he came out. We drank for a bit. We drank for around an hour and a half, and recorded. And I haven't re-listened to it. I almost don't want to. But we had a discussion about the Olympics that neither of us knew a huge amount about. The commentary thing didn't really work because we almost needed the commentary on to know what the hell was happening. So we didn't do the commentary idea, but we had a chat about sport. So I think the Priori podcast this week, we can only really call it as a drunken ramble. So introducing the Priori podcast with me, Kestell Duxbury, and my very good friend Calum Phillips. Podcast. It's the 9th of August 2016 and I'm with Calum Phillips. Calum, would you like to say hello?
Hello, my first time being here. Thank you very much for having me.
That's Calum. We are going to do a sort of sport edition of the Priori podcast, which should be fun. However, the first thing we're going to do is Calum, here is a shot of Jaeger.
I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this. I've even given you the glass of the mine has a name on it. That is somehow
relevant.
Would you
Cheers.
Okay.
I don't know why you made me do that.
Oh
my god, why?
Oh, that was disgusting.
I hate you so much.
So,
Nice.
I've also bought you a beer just to level things out.
Oh, you're a twat.
It's it's 25 past 11, and we have decided that the best use of our time is to get drunk and watch sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
So of course we've just started into the Rio Olympics.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so on board on the talking side.
Yeah,
that's really helpful.
No, I'm glad that the Olympics have started because the build-up was so negative with the whole, with Zika and with the failed organising and the sewage and things. So I'm happy that it's actually got underway and it seems to be going away without too many major hitches. So yeah, I'm happy that it's underway. I'm enjoying it.
Jesus. I feel like I'm in that situation. I'm just going, I know I have things to say, I just can't think of them. There was a point, and I can't remember who the woman was, but she was a Canadian athlete, and she was basically saying she would not travel to the Olympics because of the Zika virus.
I can understand maybe if you're planning on starting a family, because it's still so unknown. There are so many things we don't seem to know exactly how long it affects women for, etc. So I can kind of understand the hesitation, at least.
Yeah, but I mean, Zika's once in a lifetime. Not that. Not that. I mean, I'm just not Zika. Rio. Rio is once in a lifetime. Oh my god. Right. Right. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're an Olympian, surely you have to just go. This is.
Well, lots of them seem to have taken that logic and just gone. So I don't know. I can understand both sides, I guess. I can understand why you would go and why you would also not want to go.
I don't. I would go. I think if I was offered, it's different. It's different because I hate children, so I would naturally never want to go.
I see. You're right.
I would never not go because of the children. However, I used to do triathlons. I was quite good at them. I did some open water swimming.
Yeah. I ran a half marathon once. It was
we
awful.
ran the same half marathon.
We did.
The point is, we were planning.
You destroyed me.
We were going to go and visit each other, and I didn't see you once.
Yeah, we did. We went for breakfast. Do you remember?
Quite a while afterwards.
The next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was absolutely.
I met you at lunchtime.
Dead.
No, dinner time, didn't I, mate?
Yeah, it was. Oh God, I could barely walk. I was walking like John Wayne for like 2 weeks. It was absolutely horrendous. I was slightly underprepared, I must admit, but
your flatmate did very well though, didn't
he? He literally.
Khaled.
I really, really hope he's not listening. He literally, he barely trained at all and was just like, I'm going to destroy this. And we were like, okay. I mean, we do call him O'Farrell. Look, he's got the physique for it, let's put it that way. And he just turned up and was like, yeah, I'm going to destroy it. And I saw him run past me like a minute into the race. Didn't see him since. He ran like a 1:28. Like, Jesus. By the time I crossed the line, he was just chilling. He'd like completely regained all composure. I wanted to die.
I mean, I did a 150, I did a 148.30. I was aiming for a 150, but I had some knee issues beforehand, so I was being quite concerned. I mean, I would normally have been aiming for around the 130, but I was being relatively conservative. And also, if I remember correctly, it was the day after Wales lost to England in the Six Nations. I don't know if you wore your Welsh shirt. I wore mine, but
what to the
half marathon?
No, I can't remember. I think I wore my Cardiff shirt. Actually,
did you? Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
But I remember I think they had like checkpoints where there's like water, like with the top screwed off, you just grab it, and I realised
there were like about 3 or 4.
Oh, there was quite a few. Yeah, I it's really hard to drink and run at the same time. So I'd had a few swigs, threw the rest over my face, and just threw the bottle away. And then at the next one I thought, that worked quite well last time, I'll do the same this time. And then I realised they had Lucozade. So I was like,
no.
I'm going to have a Lucozade. So I took a few swigs and then just realised immediately, what are you doing?
You were halfway into half marathon, you were going to be swarmed.
I know, and I got really sticky, and I was sweating orange, and I had the entire population of the Northwest's bugs following me, and it just turned into a bit of a nightmare. And
because the worst thing was the first 2 checkpoints were good because it was bottles of water that were unscrewed. It was one of these things you could sort of fire Lucozade into your mouth, but it was relatively spill-free. In the way that the third one, and I think it was run by the Scouts. And now I don't have any prejudice against the Scouts normally. But these lot were dicks because all I got.
I know the checkpoint. I know exactly what you mean.
That was it, because all I ended up with was a bottle of water. Ended up half, because these bottles of water had quite a thick sort of bottle cap base.
Right.
The Lucozade they then unscrewed the tops of the Lucozade, and normally I'd be like, okay, fair enough. They've asked you to unscrew the tops of bottles, so fine. But what they ended up doing is just making everybody ridiculously sick in there for using the water they should have been using to drink to wash their hands.
I know.
When you've got 4 miles to go and all of it is on the coast and all of it is battering the wind.
I know.
What you don't want is to be washing your hands.
However, we ran the Liverpool half marathon, and I lived in Liverpool for 4 years, and it rains all the time, and somehow it was like, was it February this month? Is it February? It's an absolutely beautiful day. March
16th, something like that.
March the 16th. It was an absolutely unbelievably good day. Imagine how bad that last 3-4 miles would have been.
Sticky.
If it was, well, yes, I was sticky, but imagine if it had been raining and battering it with wind and rain. It would have been, I mean, it was windy, but it wasn't horrendous.
No.
And it could have been a lot worse. And at that point, I could barely put one foot in front of the other. So
I was in a. I had sort of been running with a group of people. I don't know if you would have been roughly the same, but I was running with a group of people who some had gone off far too quick.
Yeah.
And then had realised the error of their ways around mile 8 or 9, around that checkpoint. So after that, you did have a much clearer route into the finish. And I got to mile 10 thinking, I feel great. I feel amazing.
Yeah.
So I was in the situation, because I had a few issues with my knee and I've been doing a lot of physiotherapy and stuff like that. I was in a situation, a very, very fortunate situation of going, I feel really good, I'm going to power through, I'm literally going to do a sort of 1500 metre pace now. I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other, really strong. And there was a point where there were people running what I thought was a lot quicker than I was. At the finish time, literally finishing 5 seconds before me, who I hadn't seen for miles.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to be in that situation. But there were a lot of people that I saw had come past me, and I think I have a competitive streak in me, which is as big a downfall as anything.
Yeah.
Because these people came past me, and of course you're trying to keep up. And I've done that before, and it doesn't work. But these people came past me, and then I hadn't seen them for 5 miles, and then I passed them because they were walking. And I'm sure you had people like that along the route who sort of sprinted for 200 metres and then walked for 5 miles. So.
Yeah, I just, as you said, you found that you had it in you to really run at the end. I did. I really did not. I was struggling towards the end, I must admit. I found it quite hard going. Although it was strange. At the end, I actually really found that I enjoyed it. I mean, after I got over the initial, I'm really knackered, half an hour, I was like, I actually enjoyed that. I would do that again.
There's a lot of pride and really good feelings that come with it. I mean, I was intending after that half marathon to really get on the beers, and it didn't happen. I must have finished at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and before I know it, I've ended the night. I've had a nap in the middle of the day, and I've only had 5 pints through the whole day.
Sorry.
That was never the plan. The plan was to get
absolutely on it,
and end up absolutely gone. But it didn't really work because I hadn't drank for about 2 months beforehand. Not as prep, but because I was already hurting already, I thought, well, if I don't drink, that will be that
will help. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't really have it in me to go for drinks. I kind of like stretched for like an hour to try and limit the damage.
You and saying that you're not coming. And
No.
I was like, what? Who is this person?
I was absolutely annihilated. I think I had a nap. I stretched for a while. I had a shower. I just chilled.
Stretch in the shower.
Yeah, not in the shower. Stretched and had a shower. But no, I would do that again. It was all round quite an enjoyable experience. I remember when I got to the the last stage along the docks, and thought, I am pretty much there. This is the fun. And I kicked for a while, and then it kind of dawned on me that it wasn't getting any closer, and this stage was like 4 miles.
Yeah.
And anyway.
I think the advantage I had for that particular route was I don't know Liverpool as well as you.
Yeah.
So therefore, when I was running around a park, for me it was a generic park.
Yeah.
For you, it was somewhere you knew and you knew how far it was back, and
we kept
because I've done this before. I did the London to Cambridge bike ride before, and we were passing through. It was. I think we passed through Wimpole.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who knows that road, and of course our hometown is to get to Cambridge, you have to go through Wimpole. You know it's 6 miles or whatever. I then saw Wimpole and thought, I've done a long way. I've probably ridden 45 miles, whatever it was, and I was probably in my teenage years and thinking this is a long way. But I remember thinking this. Okay, I've seen Wimpole. God, thank Christ, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And it said 15 miles to go. I was like, easy fuck,
yeah.
Like, that's not 15 miles. I was like, I know Wimpole is 5 miles away. Like, what are you? And it literally meandered around the villages. And it's like, I've done the distance. Like, why are you doing this?
It was Sefton Park, and we kept running towards exits, and I was like, we're gonna leave. And no, we just kept taking up and back round, and we were running in this park for like, again, it must have been like 3 or 4 miles. It was absolutely grim, and it just seemed to take forever. And at one point there were signs for a 10-mile race, and I thought that was the 10-mile point, and I was like, I'm nailing this.
No.
But Quain came.
Half marathon or a 10-mile race.
Yeah.
Although I'd never quite understand that. Why, if you think you're somehow good enough because it was described as a race, why a 10-mile race would somehow be preferable to a 13.1 mile? I don't know.
It's just a round number, I guess. But yeah, I don't really know. Although I remember in the park seeing people who had left the park who were like gliding ahead.
Yeah.
And they must have been, I don't know, they just looked so cool, and they looked so much better than I did at this point.
On route into the park, that was the first time I saw anybody literally come past me, and he was a man, an Ethiopian man, because behind him was an Ethiopian flag.
Yeah.
And he was probably running that half. What did we worked out in the end, didn't we? We saw him at the end.
Yeah.
He could run that half marathon in 1 hour and 6.
I don't know. It was obscene. It was an absolutely obscene time.
With a flag behind, he basically ran with a cape.
I know.
Yeah, he
like a superhero.
Yeah, completely. But I mean, I'm not. The guy obviously is a professional. He was a professional runner. I mean, there was no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, there were quite a few, and they. No, there's only one small hill at the beginning, really.
Yeah, that is
one
it,
medium
really.
hill.
And at that point, you've got so much momentum.
Yeah, you're feeling good.
I think the other thing is quite. You're never really running, particularly at the end, on these huge bits where you're not running with anyone. You kind of stick with the group.
Yeah.
Because I remember running with a girl for, I don't know, maybe a mile.
Yeah.
Because she was after a running guide, and people if you run with me for a bit, I've got a bit of pain. And I remember her trying to get someone's attention. I said, "Do you need someone to run with?" And she was like, yeah. And I just said, what's the issue? And she said, I've had this issue in the back of my quad. And all of a sudden, by the time she's told me that,
she's like run it off.
She's run half a mile.
Mm.
It's not a lot, but it's half a mile she had to think about.
Yeah.
So it's a nice thing, and I think the most inspiring people there are the people who you say you are not runners. You look at them and go, you are not runners. You are built differently to the way you think.
Yeah.
But I think this is why, and I can't remember who made this point on Twitter, but they said that basically the way that we should watch the Olympics is there should be an average person.
I kind of forgot that's what we initially were supposed to be talking about. We've gone completely off topic, but
but there should be an average person doing every event.
Year-old like truck driver from like
someone like that. He can be a relatively fit young person.
Yeah,
and
someone
you
I guess.
Still realise how annihilated these people get in the gymnastics.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like we were watching earlier,
the archery,
watching the gymnastics, just going. I couldn't even stand on that bar, let alone flip and jump off it and do all this other stuff. I couldn't even stand on it without falling over.
I could jump both feet together and land in roughly the same position, so long as I didn't leave more than 3 inches off that bar.
Yeah,
but
I would say about
These
the same.
people do flips and.
I know, but they almost. I mean the dedication, the training. I think they must have probably done it from such a young age. You're just almost like acclimatized to doing it. But it's incredible. There's no other word to describe it. Anyone regular would be absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, I I did see something on Twitter earlier, because the Americans won the shooting.
Yeah, I saw that as well. It's like, well, yeah, no fucking shit.
Yeah,
like,
literally,
obviously, like, what else are they doing with their time? We've seen. They like this.
Until ISIS are genuinely selected as their own sovereign state.
Yeah, we'll give it a while. I think their gun culture produces so many negative results. They should have a gold medal to at least cushion the blow of the next school shooting. I don't know.
I mean,
you can't put that in. You're gonna have to edit that out.
I think the worst thing is, I was gonna say fire on the coffin. That's not a good anecdote. But the worst thing about this is that everyone who competes in the shooting is white.
Obviously.
Shooting is an obviously elitist sport.
Yeah.
Even I don't know if this is true.
People who are shooting for necessity are not people who are competing in the Olympics.
Well, did I ever tell you? I don't know if I ever did tell you the story. When I was in Kenya in 2014, I was in a bar on a campsite because we were staying in this particular camp. For shooting and killing what he described as 3 Kenyans.
How would this man got bail to chill in a bar?
Right, so this is where the sort of inherent racism of the country comes from, and I had never really realised Kenya to be this sort of society. You think of this when you think of South Africa, but maybe not so much of Kenya. But I think if you look at the background of Kenya, you all of a sudden realise how much more there is beyond the surface, and particularly when he said he didn't describe himself. This was his father. Sorry, his grandfather was a first-generation British immigrant. His father, and he showed me the pictures, was on his piece of land and was shot in the head by what he described as a Kenyan, shot in the head in his land. Now this piece of land was a guarded off 92-acre bit of land that had its own private airfield. God. This is not just civilian. This is unique pieces of land owned by the very wealthy. And somehow missed every single vital bit of this man's head, to the point where they reconstructed his face.
Oh my
He was still living. Like,
God.
he showed me the picture. I went, this is mad. Like, what have we let ourselves in for? But anyway, he then talks later, and we find out this guy has shot and killed 3 Kenyans, as he says in inverted commas.
Oh my God.
And because what has happened, he had heard his neighbour's burglar alarm going off, and he got his gun out of his cabinet, and his wife hadn't woken up and his daughter hadn't woken up, so he thought, I'll go outside. He sees people storm his neighbour's house. This is probably 300 yards away or whatever it is. By that time, the man in the house had been taken hostage. The woman and daughter had run out, sort of thing. And all of a sudden, you're dealing with a hostage situation. And the next thing he knows is they're coming towards his house. Because the alarm bells go off, the man has rung them. The other man who was eventually taken hostage had rung them. It took them 30 seconds to turn them off. And apparently this guy automatically knew he was going to be robbed.
Mm.
So he woke up his wife, woke up his daughter. And he crashed behind his car with a load of guns. And he shot and killed 3 Kenyans. And he then showed me a picture of the chief of police in that state, whatever that state was. He then showed me a picture of the leader of this criminal gang having been shot in the head by the Kenyan police. If you're on trial for killing 3 Kenyans, you do not have that relationship with the police.
No.
And that worried me. And me and my dad were there, and we felt uncomfortable being in his presence.
The fact that this guy shares this story, this intense story about
With
his life with
such
strangers in a bar.
This was the thing. It was shared with pride in the way that I think me and my dad felt uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I
think
that's horrendous.
I think the inherent racism of his upbringing was so foreseen that we almost felt that this was really intruding on our personal beliefs in such a way that we don't have that kind of racism we don't have that sense of entitlement in Britain, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, obviously.
But there is definitely a sense of entitlement for white Kenyans. But that's the way he described himself as white, not as Kenyan. And I thought that was weird. If I was a 3rd generation immigrant, as I'm sure you probably know as many as I do, many 3rd generation immigrants in this country who describe themselves as British.
Obviously.
Normal, exactly. But that's exactly the way I describe it. You know, he described himself as white. Now, I don't know. That was weird for me. It's entirely like.
It is weird. The way that he described it as killing 3 Kenyans. It's like, who cares what nationality that you killed 3 people?
Yeah.
Why does you almost use their race as a way to belittle your crime? And it's horrible. I completely.
Zika virus. Let's talk about other
Those nice and cheery discussions. I mean, I'm not sure if the swimmers have been yet and swum through the sewage.
You talk about swimmers. I'm sure you saw Michael Phelps win his 19th gold medal.
Something like that. He's got more gold medals than most countries.
Yeah,
it's obviously.
Phelps would be something like number 20. The one thing that's come up about is his sort of acupuncture therapy, because he had these red dots on him.
But so many of them have.
Yeah.
It's hot cup therapy, right? Is it what it's called?
I think it's just called. Well, I don't know if this is true or if someone at work was having me on.
Right.
But it might be called cupping.
Cupping? It might. Yeah.
Do you think?
Maybe. We've both come up with cup. independently. So cup must be.
So from what I'm aware of, the cup is used as a sort of suction technique to draw blood to the skin.
Yeah,
and therefore
that is supposed
relieves
to
pain from muscles and.
Yeah.
I mean that sounds fine enough.
I guess, but I'm obviously no doctor or physio or anything.
No.
But as well, I think part of it is the psychological aspect. Just if they believe it works, and they believe it enough, it may work. If you get what I mean? The placebo effect. Yeah. The placebo effect of it, like the psychological, is just as much as the physical. If they thoroughly believe that this hot coupling therapy will work, then it may well do in a bizarre way, and it can't be worse than actually taking a shitload of drugs anyway. So
I mean,
go for it, guys.
There's a really good Frankie Boyle quote for this sort of thing, and it says, "Do you want to see somebody run the 100 meters in 9.8 seconds, or in 2.6?"
Yeah. Exactly.
I almost think there should be the separation in the Olympics as there is in the Paralympics.
Of drugged and non-drugged.
Drugged and not drugged. Because if you want to be champion in the natural world, fair enough, you beat yourself. But if you want to be the fastest there ever could be, of what human potential genuinely has.
Well, I guess you could do that without the Olympics.
I'm sure
have it unofficial, just pump loads of. There are loads of disqualified Russian athletes anyway. Just get some of them, pump them forward some more.
If any of them are guilty.
Yeah.
The problem is the crime is not with the Russian athletes. It's with two or three, but it's with the.
It's with the culture, the federation.
This is the difficulty with. This is the politics within it, which is the Olympic Committee fundamentally Western centric.
Yeah, and there is an argument. I think I saw an article on the BBC or something that apparently, even with we hold our kind of heads high, but apparently something like 4% of British athletes since 2002 have been doping. So this isn't a
Dwayne Chambers.
Yeah,
he was the archetypal one.
This isn't a uniquely Russian problem. The difference with the Russians is that it's been proved to be systemic. It is.
This is
I think they see it almost as a way to almost further national pride. It's
a win-win though, because if the Americans and the Russians are, there is a sense of nationalism that exists in Russia, which you can almost say, hang on a minute, this is just anti-Russia, this is just anti-Russian propaganda, and all of a sudden you've grown Russian national pride by just going, you're picking on us. It's the fact of just going, they could be cheating outrageously, they could be injecting themselves in the fucking
almost sure they are.
It might well be happening. I don't know enough about it, but anyway, it could be happening. But all you need to be doing is saying, look, it's just anti-Russia. Russia's the only country being prosecuted, and therefore it's just anti-Russia.
The state of their media as well completely allows them to put that idea in the mind of the people. But anyway, I thought they were going to get a blanket ban. They didn't get a blanket ban. They put it down to the individual associations. I think, as it turns out, something like 2/3 of Russian athletes are actually competing, which is beyond me. But then you had the case of
the track and field.
No, that's because the track and field people said no. I think rightly. But we talk about.
Sorry, they said no in terms of.
I think they banned the Russian athletes from competing.
Right. Okay.
But that the British cyclist recently it's been in the news. The British female cyclist. I can't remember her name.
Oh,
But she... Is it Lizzie Armistead?
Armistead, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Who won the silver at London,
yeah, she... something like missed 3 drug tests and got banned, but then appealed and said that one of the drug test misses wasn't her fault.
This was the issue with the regulatory body at the games rather than her.
Some way, I'm not sure the exact... But anyway, they ruled in her favour on that, and they said, okay, but she still missed 3 drug tests in an Olympic year, 2 of which...
Ferdinand did this. Do you remember this?
Yeah, he got banned for, like, it's kind of forgotten, but yeah, he got...
But he got banned for over a year, wasn't it?
I don't think he was a year. I think it was about 9 months.
But a season.
It was a significant period of time because he missed the drugs test.
Yeah, and you're sat there going, hang on a minute, how, as a professional sports person, do you not allow these things into your routines? Like,
I don't know.
Unless you have something to hide. I mean, I think the problem is we probably share the same cynicism in professional sports people, which is why on earth are you allowing this to happen? In the same way, if you are Ashley Cole, why on earth do you allow yourself to buy a fucking pay-as-you-go mobile phone and put pictures of you with your dick out with your face in it? I mean, you are a...
I know, and like, is Colo Torre and Sacco, who've both been done for like
Colo Torres was amazing.
Taking their wife's diet pills. I'm like, you're a fucking professional athlete. First of all, you don't need to lose weight. But second of all,
hang on.
Consult your doctor at the club.
Colo Torre has an even bigger scandal. Have you never heard about
this? With the cheating on his wife.
Exactly.
The car salesman.
Yes. Did you tell me about this?
I don't know.
I mean, tell the
I believe.
This is a genius anecdote.
I feel like now this is actually checkable. I've been told he apparently posed as a used car salesman with this girl, and effectively she was his girlfriend as far as she was aware. This was her boyfriend, the used car salesman from I don't know where he pretended to be from.
But he didn't pretend to be from anywhere else.
No, is he Ivory Coast?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, but she then, I think, maybe showed her friend a picture of him and her, and he was like, "You know who that is?" And she was like, "My boyfriend, the used car salesman." And he was like, "No. That's Colo Torre." Like, he's a famous footballer, and apparently this is true. He's actually married with kids, and this is what I heard. If true, he's a horrendous human being. If not, I'm sorry, Colo Torre, for the defamation. I don't know.
Is he still playing for Liverpool?
No, I think he's for Celtic. Yeah.
Following Brendan Rodgers. Before we get into that too much, I think we're going to take a little bit of a half-time break.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
And we'll get back onto the Premier League.
Yeah.
The beginning of the Premier League.
A subject that we know much more about than the Olympics, to be entirely honest.
What we've talked about for 15 minutes
it's not been the Olympics.
Right, give us a minute and we'll have another shot of Jaeger and we'll come back.
No, we won't. Goodbye.
Right, Calum Phillips. Here is a new drink.
You gave me one there, mate.
I was clinking.
Oh.
Sorry, was that not clear?
It wasn't. No, I thought you were trying to give me the... Are we recording? Oh, you're going to have to edit that bit out. That was really fucked up.
So, we've done the bare bones of the Olympics.
As in, barely touched on it whatsoever.
Like children.
But anyway, GB aren't doing that great. We should just move on.
Anyway, football. since the FA Cup.
Yeah, no one really gives a shit. It's the Community Shield, but Kez does because he's a United fan.
I'm not going to deny that I have favouritisms towards Manchester United. Describing myself as a fan, I think, is an overstatement. Because I kind of like Liverpool. No, I'm not going to support them. This is the problem. Right, okay, hear me out.
You really
Hear me
can't...
out. I like Liverpool for their history. I love the fact the whole city boycotted the Sun. I love that. I love the activism behind the club, and I like other things.
But the thing is, I have a soft spot for Liverpool, again, for similar reasons. I know I've lived in the city, I know the city, I love the people, I love the place. I've gotten I kind of... Lots of my friends are Liverpool fans. I went out, in town during their European Cup runs, singing songs in the town. It was unbelievable. And I have an affinity with the place, but I can almost root for Liverpool when they're playing because I'm a Cardiff fan and we're never even remotely in competition with them for anything. We don't compete for shit. So, not in the last few years anyway. And then, even then, not in the same league as Liverpool. But so I can kind of almost say that I almost like to see them win because my actual passion, my real desire lies in the league below somewhere else. That's where I'm really dedicated. Whereas you're not in that situation.
I'm not really that dedicated to... I like the game. I think this is the thing. I really like the game of football. But I'm not going to ever come out and say I support this one team that is somehow, in my mind, any better or worse or more important than another. And I don't have that. The problem is we live in a particular place in the world, in Bedfordshire.
Known as Bedfordshire, yeah.
But we live in that particular place where the closest team is Stevenage. When I was
not really a team. I'm going to say the closest real team is Arsenal, really.
But I mean,
maybe
a few years ago, you were dealing with Luton, who were in the Championship.
They were.
You are looking at Arsenal, who are very, very nearby.
I mean, the fact with Arsenal is the fact that why would you be a Peterborough fan when it's longer on the train to go to Peterborough than it is to get to Arsenal?
People were born in Peterborough.
I know.
The thing is, though, I mean, with all these things, I feel no affirmation with any of these teams. I will go and watch a Bedford Blues rugby match.
Yeah.
In a way that I will not go and watch a Stevenage Town football match. I mean, my personal preference is rugby. I mean, we both like rugby.
We do. We both have Welsh heritage, so obviously. But I get the almost mutual appreciation of sport. But I feel like having a club really kind of invests you. I was born in Landock, but yeah, I love the play. I don't have the accent. I didn't grew up in Bedfordshire, but I kind of know I'm a Wales fan. I know I'm a Cardiff fan, and it.
But does your dad support Cardiff?
My dad does support Cardiff, and he's a kind of a big reason it's always been kind of one of the ways we bond. We go and watch Cardiff games together, like we went to the Euros together and watched Wales together.
Because this is something different, because I will go and watch Welsh rugby matches with my mum.
Mm-hmm.
We have a affinity with the Welsh rugby squad, which is fine, because that's what we have. Mum's not a big club supporter.
Yeah.
I would say we tend to watch. I mean, I prefer the Lethney Scarlets. She probably supports Cardiff Blues.
Yeah, probably the Cardiff Blues.
Yeah, but I mean.
But again, I don't massively follow club rugby.
The geography of club rugby in Wales, literally, you're talking. Splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Splitting hairs. If we were going to go and watch a club match near here, it'd be Saints.
Yeah.
Because But I mean, the
England maybe the Bedford Blues, but.
I mean, the England team have more to gain from Saints than the Welsh team does. We have
Yeah.
George. Little shit about the actual game.
Yeah.
But loved watching the game. Like,
Yeah.
That is not my sport. I'm a rugby union fan. I don't. I'm not into league as much, and sevens is definitely a bit of an unknown quantity. And I think his greatest back in. I think his greatest in the Olympics, because I would never watch.
Yeah, no, I
Sevens
completely agree. But to put it to you this way, you say we would both go and watch Northampton Saints.
Yeah.
And
well,
okay, so
me
we're
and my mum.
yeah, well, I mean, but like even like me and you would,
Yeah,
let's say we
probably
go and
yeah.
watch a game.
We would.
That's
That's why I've invited you on my podcast, right?
Thank you. I mean, I've always thought you're a prick, but appreciate this.
That's right, man.
So
I'm just trying
no,
to
hold on, shut up.
You're a tax specialist. You need as much of help as much help you can get.
No, you're gonna need my help. If this thing ever makes. We would enjoy ourselves, right?
We would have a laugh.
But we'd probably be hammered. But you would enjoy it. You would enjoy it so much more if we went to go watch Wales together. Why?
Yes.
Because you're committed.
Yes.
Which is why when I go to watch Cardiff, I mean, I could be watching the El Clasico on TV and I'll be loving it. But at the same time, I won't be loving it as watching Wales beat Russia 3-0.
Ironically, this is a weird passion I do have a weird passion for Real Madrid. Because here's a fun story for you. My grandmother's brother
So your great uncle.
My great uncle was banned from the Santiago Bernabeu by the ground officials and his physician because he had 3 heart attacks watching Real Madrid.
Wow.
This man wasn't even from Andalusia. He was from the south of Spain. Why he was ever supporting Real Madrid? But he got so worked up about it that he had 3 separate heart attacks.
You see, I can
He eventually died of a brain tumour, so actually it's fucking irrelevant.
So,
but the whole point
he should have kept going to the football.
He should have kept going because he would have finished it up in a better way.
Yeah.
But he had this affinity with the club, and I think the thing that I really loved about, and I mean this is the thing, the reason I supported Manchester United as a kid was because I went to football training. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old. My mum sent me because it was at the end of my road when we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And mum took me to sport and soccer in Stevenage, and she said pick a shirt. And I picked a black Manchester United polo shirt. It wasn't even a proper one. It was a polo shirt. But for some reason, I just liked the shirt, and my uncle and aunt at that point had a couple of restaurants and cafes in Southport.
Mm-hmm.
So Manchester's not hard from there. And
I just think,
but we had
weak.
It was a bit weak, but I for some reason as a young child I had this affinity.
Because
and I can't ever imagine. Back then, the first thing our mutual friend Michael O'Shea, who's not a football fan
in any way,
the first thing I asked him when he came into year 7, having moved from another school, was which football team do you support? It was somehow so important to me back then, and I don't really understand what I was into it. The thing that I was always a bit of a nerd. I loved the stats, I loved knowing, and to be fair, it's probably why I love playing with FIFA more than actually knowing about football. I could tell you more about the FIFA stat of Paul Pogba than his £100 million transfer.
You see, I enjoy FIFA, but I don't know that much about FIFA. I only ever play my housemates. I never really play the campaign or anything else. But we should actually probably move on to Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba.
To Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba.
Who, has just become the most expensive player ever.
£89 million.
Nowhere near as good as the most expensive player in the world, Gareth Bale, obviously. All hail.
Or the one before that.
Ronaldo.
I mean, he is not.
I mean, no, you're probably wrong, obviously, because it's Bale. But
no, but he was not as good as.
No,
I'm not saying. No, sorry, you've misinterpreted me. I'm saying that Pogba is not as good as Bale or Ronaldo.
No, he's not, obviously. I don't think. However, he's still young, he's still got time. I think from what I've seen of Pogba, he tends to either completely run games and overwhelm teams, or he does nothing. He's a bit like Yaya Toure in that respect, and I think actually lots of people in the past have pegged him as a were pegging him as a replacement for Toure at Manchester City. But I think thing that he's come to the country because it says that we can attract the world's best, the world's most expensive players, and I think in terms of people that are on the market at the moment, because let's face it, Neymar, Messi, Bale and Ronaldo are not on the market.
No.
He's probably the best player in the world.
Can I just put another sort of overarching segment? British football, English football, sorry, I should say. No, actually, I'll go out and I'll say British football is currently attracting all the gossip. We have got Conte at Chelsea, who has then got Conte from Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
mean Conte from Chelsea?
No, Conte from Leicester to Chelsea. Kante, sorry.
Conte's the Chelsea manager. Kante
is
the midfielder they've just signed.
Look, I'm trying to keep up here. What else do you want me to do? You are dealing with Jurgen Klopp, who came from Germany, who is then bringing in a number of players. He's brought in Mane. From Mane, fee,
30 something million, yeah.
And then you look at
Ruiz, they yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about where people are doing the business in transfer window, Southampton are still probably the finest in the world, and they just keep doing it.
They do, but I mean, every time they get pillaged, they come back. This time as well, you've got to say there's a new manager. I can't even remember his name. I know very little about him. It'll be interesting to see if he can do what Pochettino did, what Koeman then did. Koeman.
But we look at what Koeman has done, and he sold John Stones for £47.5 million. In Yannick Bolasie.
Well, no, that's not done. I don't think.
Do we not think?
I'm not sure. Is it? At the point of recording, is it done?
It was done. I mean,
okay, I'll be checking this.
30 million in Yannick Bolasie. I mean, that is I mean, that point.
He's again a kind of player that either destroys anything in front of him or does very little.
And I think if you're going to say double the price for Wilfried Zaha.
Yeah,
I don't think he's worth it.
No,
however, what I would
if we talk about, sorry, no.
Is if you do want to talk about what else he has done, Ashley Williams.
I was about to say, literally, we had the same thing. We want to talk about Everton signings. Ashley Williams. I mean, as we've said, we've acknowledged that we both have watched Harry. We both obviously very much rate Ashley Williams. I think what they've got is they've got themselves, not only have they got themselves an excellent centre back, they've got themselves a leader And I think at points during the season, last season, Everton capitulated. They didn't have the defensive solidity. They didn't have that voice, that captain, that leader of men, and they've got that now.
I think it's so much more basic than that. You look at what Ashley Williams did to that Welsh squad against Belgium.
Yeah, he rallied. That's what.
The tone, and they ran for him. There's a reason why Chris Coleman will not waver.
Yeah.
Because there are better players.
And there was
they are better players in that Welsh squad, but there are not better leaders.
I don't think there are better players in that Welsh squad. I completely disagree. I think Ashley Williams is our best centre back.
I disagree.
By a goddamn mile. I mean,
sorry. I definitely think Ashley Williams is the best centre back. But what I would say is, I rate Jared Ledley. I know it's unpopular, but I do rate Jared Ledley. And Aaron Ramsey does not perform badly for his country.
No, and he's so instrumental at the Euros.
Mistakes because he is passionate, but you can't ever hold.
I feel like.
And actually, if you want to talk about anyone, what was it? Robson Carney.
Yeah.
He would.
There were rumours of him going to La Liga. I'm not sure if anything was done, but
if he could get a sign for someone like Middlesbrough, do you know what I mean? Someone like that, he'd be okay if you could get him. Maybe not Burnley because they're pretty engrossing.
They got Sam Vokes as well. That's the kind of football
Palace,
they play.
I think Crystal Palace would be a good signing for him.
Maybe, but remember, he had an incredible Euros. Let's not deny that. But this is a guy who's just been unbelievable for Wales, but lots of the players played out of their skin. I mean, if you're a potential club, you've got to look at the fact that why was he just released by Reading? I know he had an excellent international period, and I love him eternally for that goal. Don't get me wrong, but I do question that.
And this is where my Nottingham Forest hat comes on.
I didn't realise you have one. Well, you are just any shirt that suits, aren't you?
Been in Nottingham, I must admit, the one thing I never really got, I kind of followed Forest a bit when I was in Nottingham. I never got into grips with Sheffield. I couldn't.
No.
I mean,
You were there for
a year.
Yeah, I know.
But the one thing that was Robson Carney was instrumental at Forest. And then when he did move to Reading, the whole point was they thought that he was going to be the person to take them up. And he just didn't live up to expectations last season. I mean, and it wasn't even the fact that he was a bad player, because in that 30 appearances with four. Of another striker.
Yeah, and that's the type of player he is.
Which works really well, and it just happened to be that for Wales as a lone striker, he could develop himself as being something.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had Bale as a striker kind of next to him, didn't you? It was kind of a
Bale
5-3-2.
was such a good assistant. Literally, you put that ball in the 6-yard area, as long as it's on the side, Robson Carney will put it in. For Forest, Robson Carney worked really well with what's his name? Abanglahora. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Abanglahor?
Is it Abong? No,
Gabby Abanglahor's.
No. Abanglahora, I think, is the Forest striker.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
And good, pacey, young. Now I think Forest top scorer. Now they're hovering around the sort of mid-lower leagues of the Championship. But Robson Carney and him, if I'm right in thinking that this is how it works, we're okay. But I feel sorry for Robson Carney because I think he would fit somewhere like a Norwich team coming up now. But there may be, I think Middlesbrough want to spend a bit too much money. They're quite.
They've made some very good signings, so we'll have to see how it goes.
And it's Burnley who have come up, and they're not willing to spend the money. They've got
I'm not
very,
sure they've
very
quite got
solid core.
Yeah,
and who's the team who have come up?
It was Middlesbrough, Burnley, and Derby. Definitely wasn't Cardiff. No, this is. I'm gonna.
Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Hull.
Yes.
Hull, obviously.
But they've got Abel Hernandez.
They've got a decent team, and they're solid as well. They've got they've got a consistent manager, consistent system, like Burnley, and I think that'll serve them well in the Premier League. We should probably go back to the Premier League actually.
Robson Kanu.
Oh, back to Robson Kanu.
I'm going to keep bringing him up. Could he sign for Crystal Palace?
Did he?
Could he?
Could he? Potentially, although I think they need more of a goal scorer.
I'm just going to go through these teams very, very quickly, playing on the first day of the season, and I think these are the ones I think he's signed for. Crystal Palace, West Brom, Burnley, Swansea, Middlesbrough, and Watford. Potentially Stoke.
I don't think Watford, they've got a Gallo and Deeney they won't add.
But Gallo has been, I mean, no pun intended, but poached.
Well, has he gone anywhere yet?
But he'll be looking to be poached.
Potentially, yeah. I don't... Yeah, I think there's quite a few clubs that will want him. Potentially. After that performance at the Euros, because he proved the type of player he is, the type of worker he is. We will have to wait and see for a transfer on him. I'm sure he will get a club. Where? I don't know. We'll have to see.
I feel sorry for the guy because I genuinely think Robson Kanu deserves Premier League football purely with the Euros he had. Just very, very quickly, I think should have a very, very quick chat about Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yep.
I'm gonna state fairly clearly where I am. I think Arsenal need to sign. I think Xhaka is a good signing. I think they need a centre back. I think they need a striker.
Yeah, especially as I think Gabriel just got ruled out for 8 weeks. Need.
Who'd you sign? Because I know what I would have signed. Unfortunately, Liverpool did it, and that was Matic. Because he's a personal favourite of mine, and I thought Liverpool getting him on the cheap from Schalke, I would have had that every day of the week.
You see, this may again be my Welsh bias, but I would have actually Williams on an Arsenal shirt. Would I have him over Mertesacker? Absolutely. Is he a long-term solution? Maybe not.
That's the problem. I think the problem is that if he was 2 years younger, you could potentially see him going and being, okay, fair enough, I'm willing to submit Mertesacker for him. But I think at this moment, what is he, 30 years old?
Yeah,
you can't
maybe 31.
do that. And Mertesacker's that bit younger, and he's...
Mertesacker's not younger, he's older. But it's established fact that the centre-back who comes in, which Arsenal clearly need, will be the replacement for I don't know. If I was Arsenal, I don't know. They wouldn't have been willing to pay the 47 kind of £1 million for John Stones, although I think he would have been a good signing. Well, they're Arsenal, so they're obviously not. I mean, if they're willing, remember they've never even paid 40-something million for a striker. They're not going to pay it for a fucking centre back.
What did they pay for Sanchez?
It was 40-something million, but maybe
for Ozil.
30, maybe 5 for Sanchez. It wasn't John Stones' money. So who knows? I'm not sure who I would sign if I was Arsenal. However, I'm not an Arsenal scout.
No.
They know they need to sign a centre back. They know they need to sign a world class striker.
Who is that world class striker?
I thought maybe someone like
Higuain?
Benzema, or like when they fucking bid £40 million for Suarez. Bid 60 was worth it. I think he was in reach. I think maybe try and tempt someone like Lewandowski with Premier League football. I mean, people were saying being over ambitious.
Lewandowski would want to.
About £200 million.
They are not a poor club.
No,
and I don't.
I think if they're willing to break records, they could have got someone like Lewandowski, who is like Giroud but 50 times as good. I don't know. I feel like with the money they have, they should be buying more, and I'm sure lots of Arsenal fans agree. And I think from here the natural progression is Wenger. What do you...
You mean the next position to go is Wenger's?
No, I don't think the next position to go is Wenger's. I think the hierarchy at Arsenal will stand by Wenger. So I don't think the question is will it happen. I think the question is should it. I think it's more of a hypothetical.
What has he done in 10 years?
Shit all. Personally, I think they should get someone else. I don't. Well, I thought if they
into a club like Arsenal, they've had such turmoil. Last 10 years has seen them go from potentially one of the greatest club squads in the world ever, where you're harvesting talents of Henry, Pires, Lundberg, Vieira, and David Seaman, Ashley Cole. You've got really great names in there, but now you're sat there where you're saying, hang on a minute, I'm now harvesting the talents of Callum Chambers and we've just offloaded Mikel Arteta. They're not really working on the same basis. I mean, where do you fundamentally see Arsenal going from now on? Do they need a complete reform? Does Wenger need to go? Does the whole coaching staff need to go? I mean, what's next?
I think Wenger's approach is fundamentally the fact that every club that has won the Premier League has been kind of, in the last 5 years, has kind of been spending. I mean, since Ferguson quit United, at least, you've got to acknowledge that football has changed, and that you've got to start spending big money to win the Premier League. And I think Arsenal fans, there are two questions. One, are Arsenal a club that should be competing for the Premier League and should be winning it and winning other competitions? I think you've got to say yes. And I think the second question is, do you think that will happen under Wenger? And personally, I say no. Given all the new managers, all the money that's in the Premier League, I don't see Wenger with his current approach winning it. I can understand Arsenal fans and the Arsenal hierarchy wanting to stay with him completely. I completely get that, and I respect the loyalty. I do. I respect that, but I think maybe they've got to open their minds to think that if they're gonna be truly, they've got to pick, I think, between trophies in the trophy cabinet and loyalty to their manager, because I think they will keep playing good football. They will keep probably getting top four as they always do, but I don't think they're going to win titles or win Champions Leagues. I don't think they're going to fill the trophy cabinet with him still the manager, personally.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, let's now move on slightly. Let's look at Man City. You got Pep Guardiola coming.
Yeah.
He signed Nolito.
He has.
Signed a forward.
He signed
and it's relatively established for not a lot of money, 20-odd million.
Mm-hmm.
He got a good Euros.
He did.
I mean, he was almost had the same sort of suffering as the Italians, which is the Spanish have not produced good Euros.
Yeah, I think the Nolito signing is a decent signing. I think the biggest signings are Sane. I think the biggest signing of all is Gundogan.
Sane went to Liverpool. What? Who's Sane?
Mane went to.
He's not old, he's 21.
You're going to have to pause. I need a piss really bad.
That's fine.
Second.
2 seconds. I was wondering what you were saying when
I was trying to get you to.
There you go, so we're back going. And you want to talk about Leicester?
Yeah, I feel like, because obviously they're not big spenders like the other clubs, they don't have the sort of money the clubs have. I feel like they haven't been talked about as much pre-season as an almost resume to the status quo next season with the big four competing. I'm not. Last season was almost consistency, and although I don't think they're as good as the top four, I think they can beat everyone else.
I would just like to point this out. They lost Kante.
They have.
Yeah, they lost, and they took it right down to the wire against an improved Manchester United squad. That is at the moment have not lost anyone from their back line.
Although their back line is aging, you have to acknowledge that.
Very aging.
To say the very least.
I don't think they'll keep hold of Vardy. I honestly think Vardy will leave. I
think when he turned down Arsenal, he committed his future to Leicester. I think the real issue is whether they'll keep Mahrez or not.
I don't think they'll keep either. I think Mahrez will probably end up at Arsenal. I think Vardy will perhaps end up at Tottenham.
I don't think Arsenal will sign Mahrez because he's not the type of player they need. They've got plenty of attacking midfielders. That's not their issue. I don't think Vardy will end up at Tottenham because he's not the type of player they want. They play with a 4-5-1 and they've got Kane in that up front position, so I don't think Vardy adds anything.
But what Vardy does add is the ability to play a 4-4-2.
I mean, he does, and he also gives a different option.
Actually, maybe a 4-1-2-1-2 in having that Eriksen just behind the front two.
Yeah, although I feel like Pochettino has a system that works at Spurs, and I feel like he will add to it, but he won't change it.
I mean, he lost.
He did. I mean, it did.
Third.
I did. I think, but you can. That is still a better finish than they've had for a long time.
But it still doesn't mean
also. I mean, no. I think they will improve, but I think they will only improve within the system they have. I don't see them making a signing like Vardy. I think Vardy will stay at Leicester. Whether Mahrez will, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they start next season. If they can really start well, it will potentially give them the belief that maybe they can, maybe win it again, but compete again. And we'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's the thing about this season, there are so many unknowns going in. I think Leicester will finish. They'll finish maybe with Europe. That's another thing they've got to contend with. Does their squad have the depth to play the amount of games required in Europe? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
They've bought an awful lot of players.
They've
bought good players. They haven't. I don't think any of their signs have been below 5-0.
No, I think
that's different because was Ajoa.
Yeah.
At what, 2.75?
Yeah.
And he ended up being a complete asset to the last 10 minutes of the game. How many area wanted to play? You look at that and you go, well, Ranieri won the league, one of the most difficult leagues in the world. And he won it with the most unlikely team in the world.
Yeah,
And he made it with such unlikely signings. You sit there and go, well, hang on a minute. If he can do that with that group of players, what can he do with a little bit of money to spend? And he hasn't got an awful lot, but he's recouped a little bit from Conte.
Yeah.
From Kante, sorry.
I know what you mean.
He will also, if Mahrez does leave, will get a phenomenal amount of money for that. We're talking sort of, if he does go for the £42 million that is his current clause, that Leicester will receive 30. I mean,
yeah.
If we believe transfer speculation that 30 million only buys Yannick Bolasie, then that's not quite true. So I think 30 million will buy you maybe Mata.
Potentially.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, if Mata's going to leave Man U and wants to stay in Britain, he might as well go for the Champions. But there is an opportunity there.
I mean, I don't see Leicester doing a Leicester again. I can't see them winning it again. On that would
be amazing.
Well,
wouldn't they?
you know that this is serious. The odds on them going down are greater than them winning the Premiership again.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, although I did maths at uni, I kind of understand how that happens because they have statistical models to work this kind of shit out, and an outlier like Leicester would probably fuck with the model, so that's probably done that to the odds. They're obviously, I would imagine, more likely to win the league again than go down, but it does make you wonder. No one is giving them a hope in hell, and I would love
again. We haven't learned.
I'd love the fairy tale to go on, but who knows? I don't see it. I mean, to win the league next year, I think it's for me. It's between United, Chelsea, and City.
I'd go with that.
We should probably talk about. We've talked about City. We should probably talk about the other teams that we just threw into the mix. United. You're a United fan. I'm sure you're buzzing to talk about the wonderful signings you've made.
I don't think Bailey's good enough.
Wow. Okay.
He played really well in the Community Shield the first time.
It's the same man of the match signing, man of the match performance.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he was impressive. If he has that consistency, we'll have to prove that. If he does, then fair enough.
What was the fee again? Because it was astronomical. Was it? Sorry. How old?
About 21. He's not old.
Well.
Not old. Anyway, they've also signed.
Anyway. Yeah.
And 27-ish or whatever it is.
I think that's a good
signing.
Not
a bad sign. I think you can go with that. Ibrahimovic on a free.
Yeah.
34 years old, but has never been better.
34 years
Never
old.
been better.
Yeah.
If they can keep him for another year afterwards, that is the fundamental.
However, I think
this is the thing I really want. I really want Ibrahimovic for. I don't want him to win the season this year. I want him to win it next year, and I want him to win it with a Martial Depay winger with a. I don't know, maybe somebody who can play up top by himself. And the problem is you don't have that. You don't have the typical number 9. It doesn't quite exist in the way it once did.
No.
The thing is, though, I mean, United has for a long time existed on a 4-4-2 or a variation of a 4-4-2, which has been since '96 has been either a Sheringham, Cole, York, or a Van Nistelrooy, Sheringham, York. I mean, these all are different variations of very much the same thing. And probably until Van Nistelrooy left, there's never quite been that person right up top. Whilst
remember,
he's not quite the number 10, and he was more the number 10 than number 9 that Van Nistelrooy was.
Yeah, I think, remember, you've had other number 9s. You had Berbatov was the season top scorer one year. Van Persie
Not
was the
for
season.
United.
Yeah.
For Fulham he was, not for
No,
United.
not for Fulham, for United, I'm sure. He was
Are
the
you sure?
season's top scorer. Also, you had Van Persie, who was the season's top scorer. I think.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I will say I've neglected to. Van Persie's one of these people that you never expected Van Persie to stay for any more than maybe 5 years. He was not a long-term signing, and I think the one thing United has always done really well is just said to people, "You're going to be the best. The best team is us." And I think
that's lacked in the last few seasons.
It has, and I think that when you're winning a league with Antonio Valencia at right back, take nothing away from the man, he's a terrific athlete, but he's not a right back.
No,
he's a right mid, and no,
he's a winger. But
I really, really feel that what has happened in the past few years is not. The fact that Fergie won that league with that team shows his resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Not the squad's. The fact that Moyes couldn't, with additions of Fellaini and Mata, which I don't think are bad additions, because I think Fellaini has actually added a lot to the Man United team in the past few years. However, what it does show is that when Fergie left, he left a huge hole down the spine of that team. Van Persie gone. There was no real alternative to a Roy Keane. You can kind of get away with having Rooney as the Scalzi number 10.
I mean,
but there was no Roy Keane, and there was no proper leader from the back.
You could argue that. I think most people have kind of acknowledged that the Ferguson team that won the league that season was probably the worst Ferguson team to win a league.
Probably the worst team.
I think
player-wise.
I think he left Moyes with a bit of a dud there because Moyes wasn't given the transfer fees to really fix that. At least not initially. He was given money when it was clearly going to shit, but before that, not really.
Why would you? You've been given the team that has just said it can win the...
Yeah, but it was acknowledged at the time it wasn't a great team, and it was acknowledged at the time that you would need something, you would need signings to counteract the lack of the Fergie effect, and they weren't made.
But the point is that you're not trying to develop a new team. What you're trying to do is you're trying to become a new Ferguson.
No, but...
And even Fergie himself said the only person who can take me on is Moyes.
Yeah, and I think he was famously wrong about that. And I think what needed to be
many people.
What he needed to and Pogba, but he needed to be the other scale of the other end of the spectrum. I think what needed to be acknowledged was that squads need to be rebuilt, and that squad was in its dying embers, and it still won the league.
Hurrah.
It got its one last hurrah, and it needed to be rebuilt.
Probably dragged out one last hurrah.
Yeah, he did.
But that was a particularly poor season.
And it was
for Chelsea.
It wasn't properly acknowledged by the Man United hierarchy. But anyway, I think going back to this season, I think it'll be a lot more positive. Mourinho, instant success is something that it's maybe not guaranteed, but he'll be competing. I think it will be so strong this season with City and Chelsea, who we're going to move on to, who I think it will be really tight, but I think it will be between those three. I think they've made good signings, they've made crucial signings, and I think they'll be a real force to be reckoned with this year.
Okay, well, we've talked about them. Tell me about Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Because they have been busy.
They've been busy,
since Klopp came in.
and there's still stuff in action. I mean, admittedly, the main stuff at the moment is Benteke potentially being sold to Crystal Palace, which, on a side note, I think would be a good signing for Crystal Palace and a good deal for Liverpool because they'll still fetch a reasonable price for him. But they've made good signings in terms of Mane. He's had a good pre-season. I accept he's not a main striker, but he will score goals for them, and he will provide a different option at least. They've made other signings in Kier, Grujic, Matip will both be crucial. Klopp bringing in players he knows a lot about. He knows that they're going to fit his system, that they're going to play the way he wants to play. I think he's finally turning it into his Liverpool team. So I think I've seen him say so far in the pre-season that if they don't succeed, he has no excuses because this is really a team that he has now built. They signed a new goalkeeper, which Liverpool fans will be delighted about, I'm sure. They've signed Germany's number 2 young keeper called Karius. Unfortunately, who as you correctly say, got a big injury recently, so won't be about
6 weeks.
I think about 6 to 8 weeks. He's going to miss the start of the season. I'm afraid Liverpool fans are going to have to put up with Mignolet for a little while longer. But I think the signs are positive for Liverpool, but for me, it's going to be an incredibly competitive season, and I'm really not sure they're going to compete in the top 4. You look at the signings they've made; they are good signings, I think, but they're not the same level of signings that Chelsea, City, United have made. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, they could potentially, I think, sneak that 4th Champions League spot, but it's going to be tight. You're going to have quite a few teams competing for it. Say Leicester, Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham potentially.
Well,
fascinating season.
You do mention West Ham. I mean, where honestly do you think West Ham are going to finish? Because they've been so bold, and there's been a lot of YouTube commenters that have said that the audacity of West Ham to come out for players like Lacazette has almost been too audacious for them to really be what they would seem to be a decent summer purchase. I mean, the way that you'd want most teams to conduct their business would be to be relatively conservative, to be relatively restrained until it came down to the boiling point of the bidding. The way that West Ham have gone, they've gone all guns blazing. They want to sign James Rodriguez, they want to sign Lacazette, and all of a sudden they're going, we're going to throw big money at them, and all that means is that their current adult clubs are basically just saying, okay, price goes up, and all of a sudden West Ham become out of that running. I mean, they've got money, they've got the backing, but they need to have some sort of guarantee of performance, and they are looking at signing players who are probably not former worldies, but basically players who are on the world stage and need a boost. The Mascherano and Tevez. I mean, this is a sort of renaissance we're looking at, and they're not quite doing it. And I think the James Rodriguez would have probably been alright. Lacazette would have been amazing, but you need to get some service to these boys. Like they don't subject to loan. The only way you get this service, in my opinion, and you're more than welcome to disagree, is if you do have a player like either a Pogba or a Bale who brings it forward from the midfield up. But that's expand, because
I think you've taken, maybe an overly pessimistic version of West Ham. I think you've got to remember that a few seasons ago, admittedly they were a giant that shouldn't have been there, but they were in the Championship. They came back up through the playoffs under Allardyce. They then came up. They not only solidified themselves as a Premier in Bilic, who I think
great manager,
has
really,
been
really great manager,
unbelievably great manager for them, and for in previous appointments as well. I think he brought in players like Payet, who I'd like to use as an example for the fact that not only have they kept him, which I think is a big boost for players who want to go, who might want to go there to think this is a club that intends to keep its best players. I also think, to address the point you said, lack of service, I think he is part of that. I think Antonio is part of that. I think Noble is a part of that. I don't think assistance to a striker is an issue. I think a quality striker is the issue. They've got Valencia as well. They're a bloody good team, and I think
Valencia, who probably should have gone to the Euros.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that, but I think there's a lot of issues with Roy Hodgson's Euro selection. I think if you're looking at that, I think the biggest one has got to be Danny Drinkwater. When you think of the lack of what England had in midfield and what he could have brought to them,
Okay.
I think he had to be there.
All right, well, let's come back to that in a second. So, I mean, let's talk Sam Allardyce for England manager.
Yeah, I think he'll be far less diplomatic than Roy Hodgson, which I think is a good thing. I think Roy Hodgson tried to keep everyone happy, picking the big names when necessarily they didn't really fit into any kind of system. I'm not even sure he had a system in mind going into the Euros. It was incredibly chaotic. I think he will instill far more passion than Roy Hodgson as well. I'm not sure of his tactical nous when you're going to a major tournament, you're competing with the best tactical minds in the game. I'm not necessarily sure he's quite good enough for that, but he knows how to get teams to win games. He tends to, whatever team he manages, they tend to overachieve what otherwise I think they could do. I think that's true at Bolton and West Ham. Yeah.
Bolton?
Yeah.
You look at the team that he managed at Bolton. Okay, yeah, JJ Kocher, Ricardo Gardner, you had Kevin Nolan, you had Kevin Davis, you had Jasper Leinen. Who had you heard of before they were playing for Bolton? I mean, this is the point.
Yeah.
He made those careers.
Yeah.
And hence he kept Kevin Nolan till West Ham.
He is a good manager.
A leader. He's a leader.
Whether he's the right man for England, I don't know. Only time will tell that. But I think it's at least for now, it's a refreshing change. And we'll have to see what the future holds for England. I think they've certainly got enough young talent to seriously be a force in the future. So whether Sam Allardyce is the man to take them there, I don't know, but we'll see.
Do you rate Ross Barkley?
Ross Barkley, I'm not quite sure on. He's obviously an unbelievable talent. He produces incredible moments, incredible skills, incredible goals.
And he's young.
And he is young. Again, we should point out, I'm British, English. However, he's a match of the day player. By that I mean he produces incredible moments.
Does nothing for 85 minutes.
If you watch him on Match of the Day, he looks
He's outstanding. He is
fantastic. And for most of the time, when he gets the ball, you're not going, oh, unbelievable. You're going, fuck's sake, Ross, sort your life out. I mean, I'm not saying I could do better, obviously, but I should put that out there. But I feel he's young and he's got time to improve, but I feel like if he's going to fully fulfill his potential, 21, 20. Fully fulfills his potential, he's gonna have to rather than just influence games, he's going to have to dominate games. Because
he does have the slight essence he might do that already.
Yeah, I agree. I think the potential is there, but so far I haven't seen him running games. I haven't seen him completely destroying defenders over 90 minutes. He does it in moments and he scores goals, but he doesn't dominate games. And I think for him to be one of the best, he has to.
Who does?
I'm thinking maybe I think him and Paul Pogba are in different leagues, but I think for Ross Barkley to step up, he would have to be putting in similar performances to that kind of level.
See, I don't even think Paul Pogba puts in these world amazing performances.
He does so more than Ross Barkley. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not down in that yet.
I mean, but he needs to be maybe, I don't know, a bit more. He needs to be bigger. He needs to be more like a Scholes or someone like that.
But he's not. He's a winger. Do we not think?
Is he a winger?
Bombing up the centre, taking whichever wing takes his fancy. He has so much talent at his disposal. Do you not think you see him?
He does.
More like a Cristiano, more like something. Because I never.
If he was,
I never thought that being it. I never thought he would have overtaken Di Stefano.
No.
I mean that's a different realm of talent.
No, I agree, but I think it's for Ross Barkley to decide the type of player he will eventually be.
Sure.
And I think he will be a fantastic player. I don't know whether he'll ever quite live up to the hype. Personally, as he gets older, I need to see him influencing games more. Not fantastic. I need him to stop being a match of the day player and
Ross Barkley right there. We've done Liverpool, we've done Man City, we've done Man United, we've done Arsenal, we've done Tottenham, we've done Leicester.
We've not done Chelsea, I believe.
We haven't done Chelsea. Chelsea's the only team that I think are currently rated yet underrated. They've got Conte in. They've signed Kante from Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
They've signed Matabishi from Marseille, which I happen to think is an amazing signing. He's a cracking centre forward and striker. He's a great runner. So much better than a Diego Costa. He's a different type of striker. He's a worker.
Very different type of striker.
He is a poacher, and he's not hang around it. You can play him at 50 yards, and he will still get onto that ball. If you were ever back against a wall and you need him at the fucking basis of a complete 3-0 drumming, he's the sort of player who'll get you back into it.
Yeah.
In the way that Diego Costa isn't quite. Diego Costa is a hanger-on, he's a bit more of a goal hanger. Matabishi is much more of a runner, much more of an attacking-minded player. Now, who else are they signing? Where do you think Chelsea are going to end up?
I think they're going to be competing to the way they end up. I think they're going to be top 3. I think, as we said previously, I think it'll be United, City and Chelsea for the top 3.
Then you could expect with Champions League.
I think that. I think they've brought Conte in. I think they've brought an experienced manager, a manager who knows what he's doing, a manager who's solid, who had a fantastic Euros. Italy, I think, were unlucky to go out as early as they did because I thought they produced some of the best football of the Euros.
Definitely strikers.
Going up to that point, they were playing with Graziano Pella up front, who, no disrespect, is in no way world class.
Despite being the 5th best paid player in the world, Graziano
Yeah,
is not
but-
the fifth best player in the world.
But anyway, we're moving on from. It was by no means a vintage Italian team, and I think they produced some great football under him. I think Chelsea fans would have been incredibly happy with what they saw from Italy from the Euros, and I think they've got a lot of optimism coming into the recent season. You've mentioned Batshuayi up front. I think he's a great signing. I think the biggest signing, however, will be Kante. I think him and Matic in the middle will provide not only assistance going forward for the talents of Hazard, Oscar, Willian, etc.
Will Hazard still be there?
Yeah, I personally think so. I think that towards the end of last season he started to show glimpses of the player that we knew.
Do you not think Real Madrid, PSG?
Personally, no. I think he'll be a Chelsea player at the start of next season. I think the renewed optimism around Chelsea, the fact that he'll still be on incredible wages, there's fantastic players joining him. He will feel, Personally, I think he will be a Chelsea player at the start of next season.
Now, if you want to make some predictions for the league,
Always.
who do you think is going to win it?
If I had to put my money on one, I feel.
Well, okay, hang on. Let's
hang
on. To keep some suspense, your top four, your Champions League. Let's pick a top four, and then we'll go for a winner from there. Well, actually,
Okay.
we'll go for a top four, then we'll go for Europa, and then we'll go for a winner.
Okay.
And then we'll go for relegation. So, who in your top four? Who would you genuinely see as being your top four for Champions League football in 2017-18?
I think you've got to look at City, the money, the manager. I think both Manchester clubs, City, United, come on to United. I think got to be both of them. I think Chelsea. I also think you can never count Arsenal out for that fourth spot. So I'm going to say Arsenal. I think if you're looking for fifth and sixth.
Hang on, that's three.
No. Chelsea, United, City,
Okay. Right, sorry.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think fifth, sixth, you've got to be looking. For me personally, it's between three. It's Leicester, Tottenham, West Ham. I see West Ham missing out. I think it'll be Tottenham and Leicester for the Europa League.
And relegation.
Who
Who do you think's going to go down?
I think the clubs.
We've got Hull, Middlesbrough, and Burnley coming up. Burnley have done
Of course.
this before. Burnley have done
course.
this in recent years. They've done it with not a hugely dissimilar squad. They surprised an awful lot of people, and they survived till game 36.
Yeah.
They went a long way in. Now, Middlesbrough are spending the money. They're doing the QPR tactic, which didn't work for QPR, but they're spending wisely. And then you've got you've got Burnley spending a lot less. I mean, who do you think? You've got three teams to go down.
I think.
Or who do you think even might be near there? Do you think we're going to see some established clubs struggling?
I think honestly, I think Crystal Palace have got to be bloody careful. I think Sunderland are going to have real issues now without Allardyce because that squad is still a bit of a mess. I mean, it was still an Allardyce work in progress and he's gone. I think they're going to struggle. I think the clubs that come up, I think with the money that Premier League clubs are spending now, I think they're going to struggle. So I think that Sunderland will go down. I also think that Hull and Burnley will go straight down. And I think the money that Middlesbrough are spending will keep them up. I think they've also got an incredibly intelligent manager who knows how to play football. He's been with Mourinho. He knows how to win games, and I think that'll be enough to keep them up.
Fair enough. Well, I think that is probably drawing towards the end of the Pro podcast for whatever day this is. Well, we've actually gone over. We're now into the 10th.
Significantly.
We're now into the 10th of August because we've been talking for so long. But Philip, my old friend and tax researcher, whatever.
I don't. Yeah. Don't think that's how you should describe me.
Thank you very much for joining me on this beery podcast.
Thank you very much.
I'd like a
appreciate
clink to end.
Oh. Cheers.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much everybody joining us. Please follow us at the Priori on Twitter and at the Priori on SoundCloud. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much.
Right, well, I hope you all enjoyed that. I was not very well this morning. I went to work. I probably had around 4 hours sleep. And I went to work. Probably still drunk. Probably not in a state that I should be working in, but I made it through the day. So that was the Priori Podcast, episode 6. I hope you liked it. It was quite long. The thing is, you never quite... across the road now. Lots of traffic. I think you don't quite realise how long you're talking for when you're drunk. It goes quite quickly. So we were talking for a very long period of time, often about nothing, just bollocks. And I know there may be some fact checking that goes on. We did not have internet capability in front of us. I don't think either of us really cared. I know there was a point when discussing football I was saying things that probably were slightly exaggerated for the point of the conversation. But, you know, all good fun, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. I got a bit of a nice email this week from Scroobius Pip, who does the Distraction Pieces podcast. Really inspirational for me to start the Priori podcast. Quite a bit of a pretense, really, because it did a lot of what I want the Priori to do as something added. Well, something I think the Priori can add. Hit a gap that I don't think anybody else hits right now. But I got a very nice email from Scroob, and I'd sent him an email. Basically, I was worried that Priori podcast wasn't taking off as quickly as it should have been, and was enjoying it, but was struggling to monetize it. I think adding adverts and stuff like that is good, and having all the technicalities of it and making it sound nice is good, but I don't know, I just felt that we were struggling. We were lacking something. Our plays on SoundCloud haven't been amazing. They've been steady. I think we've got some people who really like them. People I'm not friends with who must have just come across them one way or another and subscribe, which is nice. You can subscribe by searching the Priori on SoundCloud. We also put everything on YouTube. I think YouTube for some people is just easier. I know SoundCloud, I think on SoundCloud anyway, you have to create an account to download things. So if you don't want to do that, just YouTube convert things, or just listen to it then. But he basically said, and apparently he's written about this in his book that came out this week, and he was saying how in the first year he made no money off the Priori. Off Distraction Pieces. He didn't start the Priori, I did. And the first episode was Russell Brand, and you're thinking, how did you make no money after that? But podcasting kind of is difficult to really stabilise, and admittedly he's got really interesting back catalogue, and I didn't really get into it until maybe episode 60 or 70, so doing one a week, and he's been quite stringent with keeping it once a week, which is nice. I think I get a thing out from Castbox every time a new one comes out, same for the Adam Buxton ones, and for The Economist and The Guardian and the QI team, and when they'll get a new one, I get that update, and I struggle to listen to them all, to be honest, but I am trying to keep up. But he gave me some advice, and he said stick to a regular time frame. He said stick to a week. Every week people know when they're going to get them, because even if they're not taking off, you need to keep hold of those 3 or 4 people who started listening will be your best salesman. I'm paraphrasing, but your best salesman will be those 3 or 4, because they're the people who start the big chain. So I've taken his advice, and we will be doing we'll be trying to release a Priori podcast every Friday, and it's going to vary in length. I think an hour is difficult when you're face to face with someone. An hour is so easy to fill. So when I've been with, well, all of them really, apart from the one with Angela, I found really hard, really difficult to do, because it was just trying to cut, and you can't have that. Over Skype, the way it records is it only lets you record one channel at a time, and that becomes really hard to sort of mix up. So I've basically made sure that we're going to try and meet face to face with as many people as possible. And I think I'm going to have some people on there, not famous people, just interesting people who are quite cool. So I'm just talking to a friend of mine, Tom, who is a grime artist. He did philosophy at uni, got a first in philosophy, and does grime. His stage name is 20Q, or 20, as he mentioned it. So, and yeah, and I might try and get people on, I don't know, people you probably don't want to listen to, like my dad. But right, that was the end. I hope you enjoyed the Drunken Olympic podcast. It was different, to say the least. We will be back again next week. All of those good things, and I'll speak to you again next week. See you later, bye.